Hey guys, good morning. My name is Shallon and welcome to my world of reselling on eBay and building a brand new store. This week is week 16, so we're going to talk about the sales updates, see where we're at, how we're growing, if we're growing, and I wanted to touch a little bit on promoted listings, best offers, sending offers, all of that stuff to help increase your total sales over time. So let's get right into it. For this week, we had a total of $284.17 in sales. Wah wah. That sucks. But it's not zero. So that's good. It was kind of a rough week in terms of staying on task, getting things listed. Again, personal life gets in the way for me a lot, and I am too willing to just walk away and do something more fun, even though this is really fun. And then occasionally I'm like, okay, fine, I'll go and get the dishes done and work on some laundry, although I'd really rather get some things listed on eBay. So it shows. It shows in the sales. It shows in the number of things that sold, and that sucks. But I'm not giving up on my daily engagement with eBay. Will result in daily proof that eBay trusts me as a seller. I was able to get 28 listings up this past week. That's a little more than 5 a day, my weeks are Friday through Thursday, but still, Monday through Friday, no weekend listings, a little more than 5. So that's good, I think. But most of those listings were small dollar items. Small dollar items result in small dollar sales. A few of them did sell this week. Most of this week's sales were from previous week listings, which is fine. I currently have 300 active listings with a total of 377 items available. Some of those, of course, are the multi-item listings. So our sales for the week, 11 items on eBay. However, Poshmark woke up this week and Poshmark brought in 9 sales additionally that I was shocked to see. I've had 4 maybe sales this whole time. I started trying to sell on Poshmark like February sometime, I think, but I've had like 4 total sales, and then this last week I had 9 sales just on Poshmark. So I'm not going to get into that too much because this is about the eBay store itself. 11 items sold on eBay this week for $284.17. Out of that $284.17, my deposit back is $131.03, which is pretty tiny, but it's okay. My cost of goods, $53.28. Some of my items that sold were higher buy cost items from a Amazon liquidation pallet we'd gotten a few weeks back. In total, the price we paid for the items and the number of items that were in there that were worth trying to sell averages out to about a $9 per item buy cost, which kind of sucks for some things, but it's really great for others. This week, some of those things sold, but they were in the $20 to $30 range, so it wasn't like huge profits on there. So we're looking at $131.03 net minus $53.28 for cost of goods, and that leaves me, where did my number go? And that leaves me $77.75 taxable income for a week's worth of work. Yeah, we're doing good. We're doing great. Average sale price went down $25.83 for this week. Again, because the better selling items for this week were in the $20 to $30 range. We had several items that sold that were under 10 and a few between 10 and 20. So it brought the average sale price way down. I don't think that's a problem though. simply because I don't always have home run items for sale. I don't think that your average sale price is super crucial this early on because we're still building. We're only at 38 feedback for 165 sales. So we've got room to grow before we need to focus too heavily on that average sale price. It was great seeing it go up week after week for a couple weeks there, but now this week is like a reality average week, I think. I think that if the numbers were just a little bit higher, but still in this mediocre range, that's what I should expect for a basic week of selling on eBay. We'll see what happens down the road. Maybe this will end up being my second worst week possible, because you remember I talked about December in my first video where I got really great sales right away and thought I don't have to do any work. Yeah, that's not happening now. So we have to work. But we're still going to work within our time, my time abilities. Overall, March was a good month though. March came in at $1,141 over February's total sales. So we had a 27% increase in gross sales through the month of March. And that leads me to wonder, like, can we make April just as good? If we were to increase April sales 27% over March, we'd have a really good April. We'd have a really, really good April. So something to look, maybe something to try. A couple of highlighted items that sold this week. I have these barrel hair dryers. I got them in an e-waste palette. They are brand new, unused, and I got over 200 of them in this e-waste palette. It was a 4 cubic foot cardboard box full of completely random electronic related, meaning plug-in, rechargeable, battery powered, some sort of wiring through it items. And we got lucky. Even though I have 200 of these hair dryers, over 200, I had over 200 of those hair dryers, they didn't have cut cords on them. Sometimes your e-waste pallets can be a liquidation e-waste, meaning the original owners of the product just want to dump and move on from that product. Sometimes they can be recalled. If it's recalled items, your power cords are cut off, your ability to charge something has been destroyed. So we got really lucky. And just these hair dryers, I'm selling them for anywhere between $9.99 and $13.99, depending on if they are unbranded or name brand. We get an average profit of $8 per hair dryer. So the hair dryers alone, when they sell completely, will get me 4 times my money back on the cost of this palette. In this palette, I had a $100 Philips rechargeable travel toothbrush. They were these little gel soft, some kind of guns. They didn't have the batteries, they didn't have the ammo holder. It was just the gun itself and the charging cord if you had a battery. If it was complete, these were like $80 guns. But because it was just the gun, and because I could not find an affordable place to purchase these other pieces so I could make complete guns, I just sold them plain. And this was a few weeks back. But they sold for like $16 a piece, and I had 15 of them that sold in 2 days. So I must have priced them pretty well. I've gotten positive feedback from almost everyone who purchased them, so that was a good thing. But these are the kinds of things that came in this e-waste palette. Most of our money is going to come back with these hair dryers. And at first, sales were slow, but they're picking up. And this is where a good chunk of my additional 77 items comes from when I talk about 377 total items listed. So there's that. Something else that sold this week, it was a 8-inch early American wooden doll. I picked up this doll in a bag with a Hungarian doll, and it was $4 for both the dolls. So $2 buy cost, and she was actually a pretty valuable doll. I listed her on eBay. She sold in 2 days. Buyer was all in like $36, including shipping. After fees, after all of my costs and my buy cost, I'm profiting $22 on this little tiny doll, which is good. It's a good per item profit, but like we talked about before, this week was kind of a little bit lackluster. And actually, honestly, I think next week's going to be the same or worse, because I know I have several days coming up where I'm not going to be able to put in the effort I need to for eBay. I may be able to still get my average 5 or more listings in, but I've got a lot of days that are just not, they're not going to work, so we'll see how that goes. However, I have decided I'm going to run a 5% off sale through my whole store. So maybe that'll help bring in some sales when I can't keep up my end of the deal with adding listings and interacting. So we'll see. All right, so back to this early American doll. Part of the fees with her was a 2% promoted listings. I'm not super sure if that was necessary now because she sold so quickly, but at the same time, with the way I evaluate whether or not to do a promoted listing, I felt it was necessary to promote her so that she gets more eyes on her early, the whole time. When I do a promoted listing, I do 2%. I've tried the suggested listing amounts, and with eBay that seems to be anywhere from 2% to, I think 14 was the highest percentage I saw them suggest to me. And I'm like, no, that is way too high. Initially on some of the smaller priced items, I went with their suggestion and I got a lot of views right off the bat, but I didn't get the sales. So then I've since gone back. I've changed everything to 2% if it's promoted at all. There are some things, if it's got a high sell-through rate and there's not a lot available, then I won't promote that item. So let's say I have an action figure and there's 20 listed and 20 sold. I'm not going to promote that because I know I'm going to be 21 of 20 and there's selling regularly. So I'm not going to promote that. Mind you, if there's an item that has 400 listed, even if it's 800 sold, I'm still going to choose to promote that. With the high sell-through rate, I feel like there's too many other items for a buyer to look at. So I want that little bit of bump in visibility. So I'll promote it at 2%. And mind you, when we're talking promoted, this is not your big dollar expensive advertising. A $20 item that you promote at 2% is going to cost you an additional 40 cents in fees. It's minimal. So in terms of promoted listings, for the most part, I do 2% across the board. It's a minimal cost, or I do none. I don't have any promoted higher than 2% or lower than 2%. It's all or nothing, in my opinion, at that 2%. The other thing I wanted to talk about this week, because of this promoted listings thing, I went investigating and I did some analyzing. And I was looking at my overall promoted listings for the last 3 months since the beginning of the year. And then I started looking at like how many sales I had based on best offers that were accepted, how many sales I had that were based on offers that I sent to buyers because they liked or watched my item. And I was surprised with the numbers that I found. out of the 165 total items that I've sold since January 1st, 75 of those items sold through promoted listing. That's 55% of my sales came in because I paid a little bit extra to get those items in front of buyers' eyes at a small rate, a really small rate. So I was extremely surprised by that and grateful. I mean, how many of those items would have sold otherwise? I don't know. I do recall there have been some items that I've listed expecting they were going to sit for months, and they've sold within a week or two, and I'm like, oh, sweet. I don't know how that happened. I can only guess because of the promoted listings. So then that brought me into best offers and sent offers and how that affects my total sales. I used to do best offer option for all of my items. At first, it seemed like a good option because I was insecure in, how do I put this? I was not confident that my listing prices would be selling prices. Part of that is due to the fact that I am even still just baffled at how cheap some of the items I get are sourced and how much they can sell for, which I completely understand is all about supply and demand. If you can't find what you need cheap locally, you have to turn to the internet and pay somebody else's price. And I get that, but I just can't wrap my head around some of these things and what they sell for. So because of that, I would turn on best offer for every item I had. I wasn't secure in my pricing. I was not confident that why would you buy from me versus somebody else, even though my prices are the same as everybody else's. It was a lack of confidence thing. I'm mostly getting over that. So in turn, I've actually turned off best offer for the majority of my items. The reason I did this, it doesn't even fully lend towards more confidence in pricing. It actually lends more towards irritation with lowball offers. Every time my phone goes cha-ching, I'm like, yay, wait, and it's a lowball offer. And it's an emotional roller coaster. It's frustrating. I gotta waste my time to go in and tell you, no, I'm not gonna sell you this $75 item for $12. And it led me to think, I'm just gonna not do best offer. Many people don't do best offer. Will it affect how many sales I get? I don't know yet. I mean, we'll find out, because I feel like I will enjoy not having to decline or counter on those lowball offers. So I have a few items, either I've priced them way high just because there's virtually no supply and there's a lot of demand, and I figure I'm gonna aim for the stars, and if I end up a little bit short, that's okay, because I'm still getting a good sale price, but I'm letting the buyer lead on what they think is a good sale price. One of those items we have is a Mr. Gold minifigure from the Series 10. It's an original 5,000 or whatever it is that was made, highly collectible in almost every condition. The one that we have, it is played in condition. It does have wear spots. It's got like the neck has a little chip in it, but it is original. It is authentic. It has its paperwork. It comes with its number, and these are selling for anywhere between $1,200 with missing parts, upwards of $6,000 for brand new in the packaging. My son wanted to sell it so that he can purchase his own car, and so I put it out there high, lower than most, but high for its condition. And I turned on best offer, and I got a few mediocre offers, but then I started getting a bunch of really low ball $1, $5, $10 offers, $100 offers. After I started getting the super lowball offers, I went in and put in a auto decline amount, which is his absolute bottom dollar amount. And then I put in an auto accept amount, which is roughly 15% off, maybe 20% off our asking price. And then every dollar amount in between, I'll actually see the offer, and I don't have to waste my time on these little cheap offers. Some items I leave it on, but I've now implemented an auto decline amount, so I don't have to waste my time on those lowball offers. And I've implemented a higher than my minimum auto accept amount, simply because some people might be looking, I just want a little bit of a deal. And so they'll, if I've got something listed for $75 and maybe they want it for $70, then, it equates to maybe free shipping for them with the discount, and I'll auto accept $70, and that's fine. It works out great. So that's how I'm doing my best offers now. What little bit of best offer options there are. I did just make all of these changes this current week. We'll see how that works out. We'll see how it pans out. Give it a few weeks, maybe a month, and reevaluate if that's the way to go. So in total, best offers have accounted for 23% of my sales year to date, from January 1st through March 31st. I think that's pretty significant. I didn't dive deep enough to see which sales those 23% were. Were they high dollar sales or were they small dollar sales? I don't know for sure right now. But either way, 23%, that to me feels pretty significant. The next thing I wanted to touch on is offers sent, and that's where I go in and send a discounted offer to people who have favorited or are watching, is what eBay calls it, my item. The reason I might want to do this is maybe they're interested in the item, but the price is a little too high. It opens a line of communication if you turn on the allow counter offers option, so that maybe I can send them an offer for a 5% discount and they're thinking more like 20% is where they need to be for that item. At the very least, I think it shows the buyer or potential buyer that I'm willing to negotiate some on that item. I have had several times in both the best offer situation and offers that I have sent to people where they are neighbors to my north in Ontario, and their biggest hurdle is international shipping. So if I can come down on my price a little bit, that gets them an item in a price point that they can justify. And it's dumb because some of these Canadian buyers have literally been 6 hours from my home, but they have to pay the international shipping. So for example, I sold a Cabela's winter coat to a guy in Ontario, Canada. I looked up his address on, I'm gonna sound old here, MapQuest, but the Google Maps, there we go. I looked it up on Google Maps, and it would have been a 5.5 hour drive to deliver his jacket if I wanted. And the cost he paid for shipping was more than it would have cost me in fuel to deliver to him. Although I don't think we're allowed in Canada yet for leisure purposes. I'm not sure. Either way, with the Canadians, especially those ones that I know are really close by, the shipping is just ridiculous. So sometimes they want to get a little bit of a discount. I've seen this firsthand in both the best offer options and the offers I have sent to buyers. I don't think sending offers, in my experience, is super crucial. This year so far, 12% of my sales have resulted from offers that I have sent to buyers. So I don't feel that's a significant amount. Of course, those could have been higher dollar items too. I didn't deep dive enough to know for sure. So that puts us at 35% total of our sales are the results of either a buyer initiated offer or me initiating an offer to them. And that's a pretty significant percentage, in my opinion. Would it make or break our numbers? Not necessarily, but it definitely helps. It's definitely beneficial to do that. So in recap, we have promoted listings I believe are beneficial under the right circumstances. Whatever percent you choose to promote at, that's up to you. Sending offers can be beneficial, and best offers can be beneficial while also being kind of a burden. So think carefully about how you want to approach each of those situations so that you don't put yourself in a position of losing money on a sale. I did do that one time. I was sick of having this one little item that I didn't even really want to list, but I had it. I listed it. It was a bad buy to begin with, and I got an offer, and I accepted the offer, and when it was all said and done, I actually lost 42 cents on it. So that sucked, but that item is now gone. I don't have to worry about it. I've far exceeded that loss with the gains that I've made so far this year. So if you've stuck around this long, first off, thank you. Appreciate you being here still. I hope this video has, at minimum, offered some useful information or given you a new way to look at and interpret how you're doing things in your own eBay store. If you have any suggestions for me where maybe my thoughts are way off and I'm not looking at things the right way, let me know. Leave a comment. Tell me what you think. I would appreciate it. I am always willing and open to new ideas and growth. And again, thank you for being here. I hope I'll see you next week with next week's updates. We'll check in and see how a 5% sale has worked out for us. We'll see how successful I am in trying to work in eBay with all of the things I know that are coming up that will definitely pull me away from working on my store. And we'll see, I guess. All right, we'll see you next week. Bye.